I'm Allison Plyer from the Greater New Orleans Community Data Center, and this is an overview of the third edition of our Housing in the New Orleans Metro series, entitled Drivers of Housing Demand, Preparing for the Impending Elder Boom. As New Orleans works to grow its population, a lot of attention has gone to young people moving here, but the data shows we should be paying at least as much attention to another group, the aging baby boomers. This huge population shift will have an enormous impact on housing demand. If we want to grow our population and win our fight against blight, New Orleans will need to focus as much on retaining current residents, particularly older adults, as attracting newcomers. The baby boomers are like a demographic tidal wave. This is what the population of the New Orleans Metro looked like back in 1940. Here they come. And here's where we are today with the baby boomers on the brink of turning 65. Over the next 2 decades, we can reliably forecast a 100,000 person increase in the population 65 and older. There's no doubt that the most significant upcoming demographic shift will be the dramatic increase in the older adult population. This will have major implications for a number of policy areas, including housing policy. To estimate how the dramatic increase in residents 65 plus will affect future housing demand in New Orleans, we examined 3 population projection scenarios. For each, we measured the change in households headed by adults 65 plus and those headed by adults under 65. The scenarios are no net in-migration, retain more families with young children and adults 65 plus, and robust economic growth. Even if we have an unexpected economic boom that attracts many workers and their families, the gain in households headed by adults 65 plus will greatly surpass the gain in younger households. We're not talking about new retirees moving to the city, we're simply talking about New Orleanians who are currently 55 to 65 who will be a decade older in 10 years. As more and more New Orleanians age, enabling them to remain in their homes will be a critical component to reducing blight and abandonment in the city. The kind of housing older adults need will depend to some extent on their physical abilities and to some extent on their financial resources. We estimate that in 2010, 9,100 of the city's older adults had a moderate or severe disability and were still living at home. This number will jump to 12,600 by 2020. In addition, New Orleans elders are much more likely to live in poverty than elders in the surrounding suburbs or nationwide. That means we're likely to need a higher number of subsidized units that are handicap accessible. Public policy, private investments, and targeted programs will have a large influence on whether older New Orleanians are able to find the housing and services they need in the city when they need them. To retain this group, there are 3 main areas that need our attention. We need to build supports for aging in place rather than moving to elder care facilities, ensure a sufficient supply of independent or assisted living for older adults who prefer additional services, and ensure a sufficient supply of subsidized housing for low-income elderly. Building supports for aging in place involves improving the accessibility of existing homes. Nonprofits like Rebuilding Together help accomplish this by providing repairs and retrofits for older homeowners. Some older adults will need support services. Nonprofits and neighborhood associations can provide the occasional assistance that elders may need to remain in their homes, such as connecting them with volunteers to drive them to appointments or running errands. Many older homeowners live on fixed income, so affordability is an issue for them. At the state level, increasing the availability of Medicaid coverage for home-based services would enable more low-income elders to stay at home and out of costly nursing care. There will, of course, be some folks who prefer to move to housing facilities with additional services like independent or assisted living. Based on our scan of non-HUD subsidized senior housing in the New Orleans Metro, the supply seems to be skewed toward intensive and generally more costly nursing homes. A wider array of options offering varying levels of support services could help retain long-time residents. Elder households at the lowest income level may need housing subsidies to remain in the city. For these families, the Housing Authority of New Orleans' strategic plan includes the creation of an incentive program for landlords accepting housing vouchers to retrofit existing units. The Louisiana Housing Corporation can encourage a larger supply of subsidized housing suitable for seniors by requiring set-asides for housing with services. For more data on this issue, as well as more policy and program ideas, please read our full report entitled Drivers of Housing Demand, Preparing for the Impending Elder Boom. You can find it, along with other reports on issues facing our city, at our website, GNOCDC.org. I'm Allison Plyer, bringing you the data you need to make informed decisions.